Well, what's up? What's up, everyone? Our intro video got kind of jacked up there, so welcome to the show. Sorry for the cold intro there on a Tuesday night. What is the date today? April the 11th, first night of the NBA play-in tournament, as you can see in the background. Baseball going on, new rules and all. And, of course, we brought our Mount Rushmore of TV shows go over tonight. So what's up, Parker? What's up, Fonzie?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, Murph?
What's good?
Oh, shit, we got a guest in the house.
Scoop the loop.
Oh, snap.
It's Scoop the loop.
Let's see if Scoop in the house. We got no camera, Scoop. No camera.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Now it's just an icon. Still no camera.
Man, I thought I followed the instructions.
You just got to turn your camera on.
I thought it was on.
Does it say
Technical difficulties.
rookie mistake? That's about familiar. All right. So anyway, oh gosh, anybody see Sean Murphy hit that 2-run walk-off last night?
Saw the highlight.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. I think that was his first dinger as a Brave too.
It's a great pickup.
Didn't cost him
So
much.
tell me a little bit about the pitching issue that the Bravos are facing right now. Apparently got some injuries, even down in the even rehabbing, like Ines Soroka's coming back.
What is Soroka's status? I know he's in AAA, right? Isn't he down in AAA?
Somebody said maybe the All-Star break, but that's pretty good ways away still, obviously, because it just started. But I mean, that's just, 2 months away. That's good. 8 weeks, 10 weeks, maybe. So, ooh, bless you, man.
I don't know.
He's going to take a while because he's been out for
It was Achilles, right?
pretty much 2 years. Yeah, so he's going to have to build up all that arm
Wasn't it
strength.
double?
again.
Didn't he rip his Achilles and then rip
Yeah.
it again?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so he was basically out 2 years.
Mhm.
Mm.
Eric, are you with us?
Man, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got your audio crystal
I
clear.
don't know what's going on with the camera. It might be better without the camera. I don't know.
No, man, you gotta have the face.
I got my beard cleaned and everything, man.
Ah, shoot, man. Are you on your phone or laptop?
Yeah, my phone. I don't have a laptop right now that'll work. So
Oh,
I'm trying to
gotcha.
use my phone. I allowed
Use
access.
your work
now.
laptop. You can probably use your work laptop.
Yeah, I probably could use that.
Yeah, you can try that. You gotta be able to jump in. See, yeah, it's your phone's messing with you.
Yeah, it is. What the deal is.
Man, just whip out the Surface Pro. I bet that'll work.
All right, hang on.
And jump back in here.
All right.
We gotta get Scoop on the show, man.
Scoop the loop.
Yeah, we
Old
gotta get Scoop
Eric.
on the show. Yeah, Eric's a
Old
colleague, man. He looks like Crystal Meth Santa Claus. He's got a long gray beard. It's really long. So we call him Crystal Meth Santa Claus.
Love it.
He said crystal meth Santa Claus. Good Lord.
That was from
Between two ferns, whatever.
that was when David Letterman was on there.
Yeah, I want to thank Crystal Meth Santa Claus for being
Yeah.
on the
And he started laughing. He just busted out laughing.
show. Yeah.
The intro was better when he was like, I'm sitting here with who gives a and he drops an F-bomb. I'd like to thank Crystal Meth Santa Claus. We got your icon, Eric. You in the house?
Yeah, almost. Hang on just a second. Let me see if this will work.
Uh-oh.
Another. There's 2 scoops. There we go.
Oh, there's the man.
Here we go. This is me.
Now,
Scoop
hang
the
up your
loop.
phone. Like, close out your phone.
Okay, Boomer.
There we go. Scoop's in the house. What's up, everyone? This is Eric.
Hey, guys.
This is
Thanks for having me.
Murph up here. This is Fonzie down here. You know, Parker, of course.
Yeah,
Eric
man.
works right there with us at Alpha. And here's me and Parker talking smack all day. So lucky for him, he's in the vortex of noise.
Big fans.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're dipping into some baseball talk tonight. We're also going to dip into our Mount Rushmore of TV shows, not sitcoms included. Each one of us has a list of 4, as there are 4 faces on Mount Rushmore. So we have 4 items on the list. Parker, would you like to lead us off with your 4 Mount Rushmore TV shows?
Lovely. All right. Well, for Jeff, you might agree with this one. It numero uno has to be Friday Night Lights, of course. That's obviously my number 1. We'll say Lost, even though the last 2 seasons were not that good. See, I would say the opposite when it comes to The Walking Dead. Now, Hunter would say, well, yeah, he's surprised I don't say that. But honestly, the last couple seasons, even though I didn't really watch any of it, it went too long. So
It's still going. They made like 5 spinoffs.
yeah, and I'm just talking about the main line on that one. So come back around to me. I've got to think about the other 2 because it's still up in the air.
Okay. Well, then I'll go next since I'm next on the screen. Okay, so my Mount Rushmore, my top 4 shows, 1 through 3 were no-brainers. Number 4, I really had to sleep on for several days for number 4. I'll start with honorable mentions. I'm going to give The Mandalorian an honorable mention because it's still going on. So I wasn't going to add that to my Mount Rushmore as a current show. I mean, it has to finish its run before I can do that. But as a respect, honorable mention. But my other honorable mentions are Spartacus.
Oh yeah.
Came on Stars. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Even though the actor died after the first season, it was still really good. So Spartacus makes my honorable mention list. Breaking Bad makes my honorable mention list. That's nothing else needs to be said about Breaking Bad. That was, everybody knows what that show is. And then my third honorable mention was Ozark. That made my
Great choice.
honorable mention. So now we get to the list itself. I'm going to roll across the bottom here. So my top 4 in no order: Friday Night Lights, Justified because my man Timothy Olyphant is in it, and that's one of my top 5 favorite actors of all time. The Wire was one of the best shows I've ever seen. I've watched that all 5 seasons multiple times. That was, oh man, that show when I watched it live, the 4th season in the school system where it was focused on the school system, that just ripped my gut out. That season did. That was just so insane. But The Wire is in there, and then The Sopranos came in, made the list, made the 4th slot on the Mount Rushmore. That show, it was way ahead of its time. It's very dated now. If you watch it now, the technology and the vehicles and the house setup and all, it's very, very dated. So it's hard to really it's hard to buy into the show now when you watch it. But Sopranos has stood up over these years, even though the finale, had everybody checking their cable company and checking their cable connection and all that stuff.
I like the ending.
Yeah, it was a funny ending. Not funny, but it was just funny, the reaction to that ending, because everybody had the same reaction. When the screen went black, everybody was like jiggling the wire behind their TV, checking the right input. Did somebody sit on a button? What happened? Did we lose power? What's the deal? So anyway, that made the cut too. But back to the first one, Friday Night Lights is I think one of the best shows that ever came on TV. Kyle Chandler as Coach Taylor was, I thought, unbelievable, iconic performance. Blew away the performance of Billy Bob in the movie. He was way better as Coach Taylor in the TV show. His wife, Connie Britton, was just so good. The casting of everybody was so good, but the two of them made that show what it was, and all the players and just all the stuff. It's just so good. In my Google Maps, I've got all these filming locations marked for that, where all Tim Riggins' house is, where Street's house was, where Saracen's house used to be. I mean, I've got all these things flagged in my Google Maps. So if I'm ever in Austin, Texas, for whatever reason, if I ever find myself in Austin, Texas, I can pull up my Google locations, and I'm hitting about 6 filming locations for FNL. Now, I don't know why I would ever be in Austin, Texas, but for whatever reason I'm ever in there, I got all that stuff saved. Justified was 6 seasons long. It was so freaking good. I binge watched that on one of the claims trips we were on. I just laid in the hotel the whole weekend and binge watched Justified because I took my Apple TV with me and plugged it into the hotel room TV, and I just laid there and watched that all weekend. That's all I wanted to do, was lay there and watch that show. It's so good. Timothy Olyphant is so freaking good.
And Walter Goggins.
Oh man. And the funny thing about that is Walter Goggins was intended to be killed at the end of the first season,
Yeah.
but they were so good they expanded his role and ended up being just unreal. Man, just what a oh gosh, I was legit sad when I finished watching Justified. When it ended, I was legit melancholy for like 3 days after I finished it. I was so sad that it was over. But anyway, that's my Mount Rushmore with my honorable mentions. Like I said, the last slot where The Sopranos went, I took about 3 days to decide that between Spartacus, Breaking Bad, and The Sopranos. I mean, it was probably thought more about it than I should have, considering it doesn't mean anything to anybody but me. But anyway, that's my Mount Rushmore and my honorable mentions.
Hunter, can I butt in real quick? I don't mean to
Yeah.
butt up real quick. It came up and I figured it out. And Hunter, you're going to be like, I don't even know how you forgot about this. So I'm going to have to say one's a short series, Chernobyl. Really love that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That was honestly the way
excellent.
they did that one
Yeah.
was about as close as you could get to the actual event that happened.
I watched
In
the
my
first
opinion.
couple episodes of that.
It was really good. I thought it was done really well. And then the next one, I feel like, yes, there's multiple seasons, but each season it's its own thing. So, like the first season of True Detective, is in its own category of itself. The second season had Taylor Kish, who's also from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah,
Tim
Tim Riggins.
And see, I didn't even make it to the second season because I just didn't think it was as good. Now the third season is it did bring it back up
I
to
liked it.
a substantial level. I don't know if I don't think they're done. I haven't heard anything else on it though recently.
I think
So
third
True
season.
There's
Detective.
supposed to be a 4th season
Oh, they are? Okay.
with Jodie Foster.
Huh.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think they're done with it. Just hadn't come out yet.
Well, yes, but yeah, that first season of True Detective with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, that is some of the best stuff I've ever seen, and it's hard to top that. But I had to look back through it and look back on my list. I was like, Chernobyl was a good one. But yeah, that's it for mine. Hunter, take it away.
So
my friend.
wait, go back to Lost. You gotta say why you like them. Why they're your top.
Oh,
You just went through Chernobyl and True Detective, Friday Night Lights. You can comment as well, but Lost is
Lost is one where
one, I need to know why it made your list.
well, you got to look back and Hunter, did you say you've watched this one before?
Lost?
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Okay. I think 'cause
I have never watched it.
I watched it in college, and the first 3 seasons were really, really good. The last 2 were not really good at all. But
That's,
And the end-
that's
and the
happened with
whole-
several shows.
and the ending is just it rubs people the wrong way. It
Yeah.
just to learn what happens, and you're like, really? So that's what was going on.
The show is very symbolic of J.J. Abrams is great at setting stuff up, but he has no idea where it's going. He knows how to set it up really well, but he doesn't really have an answer for it. So,
Mystery box. It's a
Yeah,
mystery
I've
box.
noticed in the sequels, the J.J. Abrams sequel, the Rise of Skywalker, can really know how to end it there.
Yeah.
And then Friday Night Lights. I mean, Jeff kind of, stated all that needed to be said on it. I mean, that's, in my opinion, that's the best. It's hard to
Clear
top
eyes,
that.
full hearts, can't lose.
Can't lose. Yeah, I mean it. The first time I saw that was going into freshman year of college, so I didn't get to see it until after high school. But it was
Man,
so
the first
good.
3 seasons of that were so good. The last 2
Fantastic.
seasons were good too, but the first 3 seasons were so freaking good.
Dang, writer strike screwed us in the second season.
yeah, my only knock was that weird like murder side plot.
Yeah, with Landry.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Yeah,
like, where's this
that
going?
was kind of weird. And then his dad helped him. Spoiler alert: his dad helped him dispose of the body or the car.
Dispose of the car. Yeah, I don't.
But then they brought it back with Michael B. Jordan. I was like, I like it.
Yeah, he was young. He was a little skinny, Michael. Or no, not that one, but The Wire. He was a little skinny, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
He was like 11.
Oh, shit.
He had little Adam's apples sticking out as far because he was so skinny. And then he pops up in Friday Night Lights, and I was like, okay, he's growing into a man here. And then by the time he was Killmonger, I was like, man, dude, swole now, bro.
Yeah, now he's Creed. So.
Yeah. See, I
Yeah.
hadn't seen any of the Creed movies either.
Oh my
So
gosh, so good.
Yeah,
so,
I was telling Jeff at work, Hunter, that I'd actually just watched Creed 3 a couple days ago.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the first two. I love them.
Yeah,
I haven't seen either of them.
you'd like. I mean, you'll like it. There's some definitely missing. There's something missing. I don't know what to point out, what exactly it is, but
Is it
it's.
Stallone?
Apollo, Creed, that's what's
Rocky.
missing.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know.
Grief Cargo.
Stallone not being in it was that obviously is a big takeaway. I mean, as I was telling Jeff,
You'd have to have subtitles on for Stallone's parts.
You're Adrian.
Or like that South Park episode where they had a translator for him.
Mr. Stallone would like to tell you he is very happy with this.
Mr. Stallone would like to thank you for coming tonight.
But yeah, and Stallone's one of my favorite actors. But yes, he is known for that. So, but yeah, I give it a watch, Hunter. You'll like it. It's over 6. So
Good list. We started Chernobyl. I think we got through the first few episodes, and then we got sidetracked and haven't gone back. But we did start.
give
we
it
did
a
start
chance.
Chernobyl, so I
Give
need to
it
go
a
back
chance.
and finish it. Yeah.
It's solid.
Yeah.
Very solid.
Yeah, Parker, I can't believe you forgot about True Detective.
Yeah, that one's definitely on me. I don't even know. I thought about it earlier today, and then I guess right before we came on, I just completely whiffed on my last 2. Like I knew who the first 2 were. But yeah.
And Jeff, do you know what the best consecutive line in The Wire is?
The best consecutive line?
Yeah, like it's a repeated line throughout the show, but it's
Oh,
my
gosh.
brother and I's favorite. We quote it all the time.
Oh, there's tons of those.
It's she.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Oh. I'm going to have to go watch that show again. I was going to say, man, there's so many lines. Some of them aren't made for young ears.
Yeah.
Was The Wire? Is that an HBO? Was that an HBO one?
HBO.
Yeah.
Around the same time as Sopranos, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Early 2000s, mid 2000s.
Yeah, I think it was
I've
like,
also got to watch Entourage too, because apparently I've heard that's good.
you've never watched Entourage?
I've watched like a season of it.
Parker's off the show now. So anyway, guys, what's going on?
You
Put The Wire and Entourage in the
ever seen Entourage? You gone.
Like a couple.
Yeah, that's
episodes.
it, dude. It's over.
Done.
All right, Murph.
All right.
Let's have it.
Mine are in no particular order, but
Yeah.
I'll start off with one of my old favorites, Mad Men from AMC.
Oh, okay.
I
Mhm.
love
I
that.
never watched that show, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah, it's it's not like Breaking Bad where there's like a lot of action pieces and stuff like that. It's just really great dialogue, really great characters. I'm
Yeah.
a sucker for that time period as well. And the idea of these guys post-war coming back home and just being told, all right, go be back normal human citizens again, and how
Yeah.
they wrestle with it. And there's a lot of affair and intrigue and just the mindset of that time period as well, and how Don Draper deep down is such a broken human being is really great. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's one of those that I've watched multiple times too.
Cool.
Yeah. Second one.
Come back to that. What's your
Yes.
other one?
Second one's a little bit of a cheat, but if I have to commit to one, I can. It's Narcos on Netflix.
Dude, I watched the first season of that, and I was very impressed. That's the first time I ever saw Pedro Pascal was in the first season of Narcos. But I
Yeah.
never picked it back up. I never watched season 2 yet. That's another one I got to pick back up.
Yeah. And I consider Narcos and Narcos Mexico basically one package. In the fact that Netflix apparently has like this whole thing where after 3 seasons, they don't really consider it commercially viable anymore, and they just cancel it. So they kind of they did basically a spin-off show and called it Narcos Mexico instead, but
Yeah.
it still has a lot of crossover from Narcos, which is really cool because it's happening consecutively around the same time. And it's just really great. Every time that you're like, there's no way that this actually happened. This is such a Hollywood thing. They'll actually show real world footage of what just happened. And so every time you're like in disbelief, they'll actually show footage from the actual time period, which I thought was really smart. Yeah, Pedro Pascal, awesome character.
How many seasons of that was he in?
He was in all 3 seasons of the original show. Yeah.
Okay.
The 3rd season's all about him, and it's him going after the Cali cartel.
Okay. Because I know that Escobar was the target in the first season, and then season 1 ended with him escaping that tunnel or whatever, and then that's where season 1 ended, and that's the last thing I saw. I haven't seen anything past that.
Yeah, so basically the story of Pablo is the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I got.
And then the Cali is the
pick that
follow-up.
back up. What am I doing?
Yeah.
All right. What's after Narcos?
All right. After Narcos, it's also it's an HBO show called Succession right now, going on right now.
I actually,
Okay.
you got to tell me a little bit about this because I'm
In its final
interested.
season.
What's number 4 before you dive into that?
Okay. So my 4th one is I don't know if many people know about it, but it's Fargo. And in particular, my 2 favorite seasons are 1 and 2. It's a little bit of an anthology series on FX. You can find on Hulu as well. First season, fantastic, with the guy from The Hobbit and Sherlock, Martin Freeman, I think.
Freeman?
Yeah, Martin Freeman
The
and
original Office?
yeah, Martin Freeman and what's his name? Billy Bob Thornton, right? Yeah. Fantastic. It's one of those shows where it spiderwebs from like this one tiny little event, and by the finale it's just this utter like catastrophe mess, but you can trace it back to just this one moment in the first episode. And I think that's really smart.
Cool. All right, back to Succession, and then we'll dive back into Fargo. But yeah, go back to what you were saying about Succession. I just wanted to get your list up.
Okay, so with Succession,
that's on HBO right now, right?
It is on HBO right now, and it achieves one of the few things like Sopranos and Breaking Bad in that you understand that the characters you're watching are utterly horrible human beings, yet you can't help but watch it and be invested.
You're a horrible human being.
Yeah. Especially in Succession, there is not one redeemable person in this entire freaking show, yet you can't help but watch it. And it's almost like very Shakespearean in a way with Brian Cox's character. Brian Cox, amazing actor.
Man, I love him. He's one of my favorites too.
Really gets the shine in this show and shows acting chops. But it's very Shakespearean in the idea that he's created this empire this news corporation empire, and he's getting old, and he has to decide, all right, when I die, who gets to take over? And the idea is that basically all his kids are kind of f-ups in their own way. So he really doesn't want to give it to any of them, and in a way, he really just wants to keep it for himself.
Yeah.
So it's a great watch.
Well played.
Hmm.
That's a good list. Mad Men, Narcos, Succession, and Fargo. What about, what is Fargo on? Is that HBO as well?
It's on Hulu, and it's a
Okay.
Netflix show. Yeah.
Okay. Who's in that show?
So each season is basically an anthology series.
Okay, that's right.
So Fargo season 1 is Martin Freeman and Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay, that's season 1. Okay.
Yeah, and then the second season, it's the guy. Did you guys ever watch The Conjuring?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah, you know Patrick Wilson, the main.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know that actor. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, the first season of Fargo is set around like 2010, and an older retired sheriff basically mentions this event that happens back in 1972. And the second season is that event from 1972, and Patrick Wilson plays the young sheriff of that time.
Ah.
Okay, I got it.
So each season has a little like key that kind of connects them all together. So there's always a tie, but it's set in different time periods with different people.
Okay,
Okay. That makes sense.
that makes sense. All right, that's cool.
Is Ewan McGregor on that show?
He's in season 3. Yeah, he plays twins in season 3.
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That is such a good. Oh man,
Claim to fame.
that's
All
so
right,
good.
Fonzarelli.
Oh boy. Well, I was beating myself up over this list, but start with my honorable mentions. I feel
Fair.
pretty guilty about this one, but I put Game of Thrones, but only seasons 1 through 4 in my honorable mentions.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
See,
I
that
would let
ruined
5
Walking
It was
Dead for me.
incredible. The
I
first
would
half of
let
the
5
show
and
was
6 in
incredible.
there. I wouldn't let 7 or 8, but I would let 5 and 6
See,
in there.
I think 5 and 6 are good, but they're not great.
No, they're not great.
1
But
through
I
4
agree.
is still the best TV.
1 through 4, you were like, "This is the best thing on TV I've ever seen." Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Incredible.
It was unbelievable because they had source material, and
5 and 6 for like them going to like the Reddit threads. Like, all right, what sounds cool?
and then 7 and 8 they said we're not gonna worry about anything. And then season 8 they said, "Oh man, look man, we got to wrap this up. So let's close all these loops up and get out of here."
Pretty much. I mean, just an atrocity, but
Yeah.
I'll continue. Peaky Blinders.
I've heard good
And
things
Ozark.
about that show,
Yeah.
and I really like Cillian Murphy, so I need to get on that show.
Oh, it's incredible. And then
Top
Ozark's my last honorable mention.
Yes,
So
Ozark
we have
was
that in
freaking
common, Jeff.
phenomenal.
Incredible show.
man.
Number 4. This is my. I had trouble
wait
with
a second,
this,
Scott. Wait a minute, Fonz. Before you dive into the Rushmore list about Ozark, Parker was asking me about that at work today, and tell me if you feel the same way. But going into that show, I had no idea how to take Jason Bateman as a serious character, because I remember him from the sitcoms, and he was funny, and oh god, I'm having a brain fart. That sitcom he was in.
Arrested Development.
Yes, Arrested Development. That was one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. But he was so funny, and then coming into Ozark, him playing a serious part, I was very I didn't know what to expect from him, but he crushed it. So yes, Parker, you need to watch that show. Anyway,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Fonzie. I'm sorry.
So I did 2 here. They're both HBO miniseries, but I tied Band of Brothers and The Pacific together.
Okay. Yeah.
They're raw, make you feel some emotion.
Mm.
Yeah,
War is hell, and the story of Dick Winters is just incredible. So
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to.
that was actually on Cameron's list too. The Pacific was one of Cameron's.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. They're
Not a lot
both
of people talk
just-
about the Pacific, but I like it a lot.
I've
It
never
is.
watched
Me
it,
too.
but I did watch Band of Brothers. That show was freaking rad. I mean, that
Yeah.
show was
Mhm.
so good.
Still is.
Well, the
So, yeah.
Pacific. There's a book. I have it on my shelf right now. I can't remember the name of it. With the Old Breed.
Wasn't that Christopher Walken's character on this SNL, The Pacific?
E.B. Sledge?
No, where it was like the skit was a first person camera view, and they would knock on his door, and he was in like a robe, and he had like a cigar, and it was real creepy. I thought it was The Pacific. I have to look it up. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, no, those two are just great. The Pacific, I mean, E.B.
Okay.
Sledge's book, like, show does a really good job kind of presenting that. Number 3, I had Homeland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is a great show. Claire Danes does a great job. It's kind of like the bipolar CIA agent, basically. It's just a great watch. Has you on the edge of your seat. It's
Okay,
good stuff.
sorry. The Continental.
Yep.
Nick had it right. The Continental.
Yeah. Not the Pacific.
The Continental. Okay.
I forgot.
Oh,
about
sorry.
that.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. All right.
Dang, Nick said he likes West Wing, Deadwood, Sopranos. Just those are all good too.
Yeah.
Good.
I
I'll
actually
pop
had-
his list up in a second when Fonzie's done.
I thought about Deadwood too.
Deadwood's
I didn't include it. But my 2 and 1 are probably the most like basic top 2 shows you can name, and it's Breaking Bad and The Sopranos. I mean, there's not much else to say. I feel like everyone's probably seen those, so I won't dive too deep. But I mean, The Sopranos is by far my favorite show of all time. The acting is incredible. Jeff talked about it earlier, but it'll just never get old. So I think it's the pinnacle of TV.
I would agree with that. It was fantastic. It was fan-freaking-tastic. I have not watched The Pacific, so I need to do that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that was one of Cam's. He liked Ozark, Friday Night Lights, and he also liked One Tree Hill. So
These were, if y'all remember Nick, he came on the show when we did the brackets. He was my Auburn buddy that came on the show. We did the brackets. This is his list. I
West Wing.
almost could have guessed. I could have guessed 2 of these. West Wing and Justified, I would have guessed because he and I have drank whiskey and talked about these lists 4 or so, but I wouldn't have guessed Deadwood or Sopranos. So that's Sopranos seems to be cropping up. Deadwood, also a Timothy Oliphant. Justified, Timothy Oliphant. There's a Timothy Oliphant theme cycling through here. So
I
that's
agree.
good.
I haven't finished Deadwood to say if it would be one of my top ones. It's pretty good so far. So
There's also a movie too.
yes, it's set after, if I'm not mistaken, after the show. So
Yeah.
yes, it actually came out a couple years ago, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
not too long. It was almost kind of like a reunion.
Yeah, Band of Brothers was phenomenal, though. I mean, and it was had Ross Geller in it, and he was a
Yep.
little prick of a character. He was
Yes,
such a
the guy
it
from
was
Friends,
such a
right?
wild turn from what I was used to him.
Schwimmer, yeah.
Yeah,
Mark
he was
Wahlberg's
Sobel.
brother.
What was
I
he like,
mean-
Lieutenant Sobel or
Sobel.
Captain
Yeah.
Sobel or something like
Captain
that? Was
Sobel.
it Captain?
Mm-hmm.
He was such a prick in that show, and he played it so well.
Mm-hmm.
He was like Asher in Spartacus. You know, he just hated his guts. So the performance was that good, he just hated him.
That show had an incredible cast.
Yeah.
Like
Some
the-
people even blew up. Like the guy that played the young Professor X, he was in it.
Yeah.
James McAvoy.
James
James McAvoy, yeah.
What about the? I wouldn't call him a big time actor, but I don't know his name. Do you Hunter might know this guy? You remember the guy who played like Abraham in The Walking Dead, the big ginger dude with the stash and everything?
Oh yeah.
He's in that. He's in Band of Brothers, and he just doesn't have a stash. He's very
Oh, okay.
young, obviously. And then
Yeah.
that guy ended up doing another TV.
Think of his name. His name's I'm having a brain fart.
But that was one of those young times. But
Yeah.
what about Scoop? What about you, man? What do you think?
What's you, Scoops? I got you ready. What's your list, brother?
Man, I started making a big long list before and realized it was like all sitcoms. So I had to start over.
That's another show. We're gonna
I know.
do
That's a
sitcoms
whole
on a
other
different
show.
show.
And of course, I've started a list on some shows I need to watch now after hearing you guys. And mine is going to be a little bit different. I did think
Hey, this is true. Before you dive in, Eric, whoever said
Yeah.
Homeland, was that you, Fonzie?
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
Nick's
awesome.
buddy is on that show, and
That's crazy.
yeah, and Nick's buddy's married. His wife was in my mom's class as well, so that's how my mom met up with them and had lunch with Max. I never watched Homeland, but I know he was on that show. But anyway,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. So Nick's good buddy Maury is on that show. Yes.
I've never seen Homeland.
Yes, the sitcoms edition. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I need to at least be sending text on that show if not showing up.
Yeah.
That made me
We're all
think
okay.
of,
So go ahead, Scoop.
That made me think of 24 when you
Okay.
mentioned
24. Yeah.
Homeland, because I was trying to remember shows that I've watched in recent years that, I would tune in, couldn't miss. Back in the day, would buy the DVDs. Remember what DVDs are? And I'd watch, I'd watch the seasons and binge them before we had streaming. So 24 is at least up there or an honorable mention.
Scoop, I thought you were going to say VHS.
Is 24 an honorable mention, or is that on your mountain?
I'm gonna say honorable mention.
Okay.
I've got some on my mountain that are odd, but they go back quite a ways.
Yeah.
they made
No, this is
an
your
impact
mountain.
on
This
me.
is your mountain,
Yeah,
dude.
it's my mountain. It's a weird
So
mountain.
whatever.
But
It's
one of
weird
them that
mountain.
I thought of from back in the day that I don't guess I've ever watched all the episodes. I've watched some of them, but there was an impact made on with this show back in the 80s, Miami Vice.
Ha!
And the reason it stands out a lot, I mean, I think it was a good show. It was Michael Mann,
Crockett gets the boss a coffee.
and he's churned out some movies and good stuff. So he does good work, but the music and the clothes and the
Yeah.
culture, the pop culture that came out of that, it just,
Clothes.
I mean, we were wearing what they were wearing in that show. And
Did you like the
I feel-
movie
I never saw the movie.
with
but it's
Colin
Michael Mann,
Farrell
too.
and was it
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was Michael Mann, so it should be I think it had a pretty decent showing when it came out. But I mean, we were just so I would put that on my Mount Rushmore. It was just of an influence. I mean, it was just.
Okay.
I mean, it colored everything
Yeah.
we did.
I'm with
When
you.
that Phil Collins song came on, and he's riding in the Ferrari, I think it was at that time, convertible, downtown Miami. That was just that defined the 80s right there. So I'd have to put Miami Vice up there. And then for me, it's like I would combine these two shows, one from when I was a kid and one from when I was a little bit older. But I would combine them because they're both Batman shows. So the first one is the Batman show from the 60s. And
OG Batman.
you guys have probably seen it because it just lived on in syndication forever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, when you were growing up, that was probably the first Batman you ever
Wham! Pow!
saw. And
Yep.
Clang!
and we never did pick up the fact that it was a camp show, right? With all the humor in it. It just went right over our heads. We thought it was like serious. So it
Batman was
like,
really muscular and athletic too in the original series.
I think I could be Batman the way he was. And then the other one that goes right along with that is when I was older, but still, it just hit a sweet spot for me because I think I watched all the episodes of this is the Batman animated series. Because I remember in the afternoons, it would come on. They used to show these shows at like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and I never missed it. I'd watch the same ones over and over. It was just appointment television. So when I think back on what show did I not want to miss, that was it, man. It was, and that's been a long time ago. But I would put those two Batman in like one category with Miami Vice on the mountain, and then the other one I'm cheating a little bit. It's not a sitcom. It's a comedy show, but it's one that I would not miss, and it had a big influence on me too, with my sense of humor and everything. And that was either one of the late night shows that David Letterman did. Late Night with David Letterman or then later when he moved to CBS, it was The Late Show with David Letterman. And of course,
Okay.
that was a big drama. You thought he was going to take over for Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And it was Jay Leno. So that was like a big, I mean, nobody
Yeah, I
cares
remember
about
that.
that stuff today. But that was a big deal back in the day. But I love David Letterman. It's like you had to pick a camp. Did you like David Letterman or did you like Jay Leno? Or were you a Conan O'Brien guy? You know, and I never really was a Conan O'Brien guy, but David Letterman was my dude. So never missed a show. And so I would put him up there, you know, and I kind of look like David Letterman these days.
I mean, this is how
But
old this is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have the same
DVD.
same
Yeah.
set.
Hey,
Yeah,
the
little
metal
metal.
case.
hey,
Yeah.
Watch that show.
Scoot. Speaking of David Letterman, how about this?
Yeah. I know.
Hey,
This is
Nick,
a
like we
little bit longer
said,
than mine, I think.
Crystal Meth Santa Claus.
I trade my beard for a little bit of his money because he's got plenty of money, I know. But yeah,
Oh,
he's got to be right up there. And then the other one, my fourth one, I think I'd put up there, and this is a weird one too, and it's a little bit of a cheat, but it's not a sitcom. And I still watch this show. I mean, they show it on all these free streaming services, but it's Mystery Science Theater 3000. I can watch those over and over and over again.
That's old, right?
It is, yeah.
And that hits me with my sense of humor too. And there's certain shows that are just classics, Manos, The Hands of Fate, and several other movies that they watch that just stand out as being hilarious when they ripped them up while they were watching. And the whole premise of the show just, you know, was right up my alley. And I've liked some of the new show that they put out, not all of it. And then they got some of the same guys do riff tracks, and I like some of that stuff. But that original Mystery Science Theater 3000 has got to be on my Mount Rushmore because, and it's still a very influential show. People talk about it today, and they may not realize where all these things come from. But that was a kind of an OG show that watched bad movies and made jokes about them. I mean, that's all YouTube is anymore. It's just people watching
Seriously.
bad movies and ripping them up.
Reaction
Yeah.
videos and critiques.
But that's got to be on my.
But that's the
Oh,
good
yeah,
thing about
so-
YouTube, you know? You can go up there and find all these shows for free. Somebody's recorded
Oh, yeah.
somewhere, some way, some fashion.
That's a good list.
Very good. Very good.
I loved the Batman animated series. I've got one of the seasons box set on DVD. That's what I was looking for a second ago. I thought it might be in here, but it's in the other cabinet out in the garage. But man, I love the animated Batman series. Oh
Yeah.
man, that was so flipping good. I used to watch that.
It's something
all
that
the
kids
time.
can watch, but it had
Yeah,
enough in it for like.
it's
you know,
dark
like a-
enough that it's a
like
good Batman
teenagers and older
cartoon,
adults. Yeah,
but it's
So-
not too dark that kids can't watch it.
right.
Which one was it with Mark Hamill in it as the Joker?
All of them.
That was it.
He was Joker
Okay.
and
Yeah.
but he was the Joker in the Killing Joke too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
He started. He started on Batman the Animated Series. and
Okay.
then-
Okay, that's where
Went
that
on
was his
into-
first Joker appearance.
Mhm.
Him
And
and
then the
Kevin.
rest, he did all the video games and stuff.
Kevin
like
Conway.
that. And
R.I.P.
Conway.
Passed away
R.I.P.
last
Kevin
year.
Conway.
R.I.P. Kevin
Mhm.
Conway. He's the
Yeah.
true Batman.
He was
Yeah,
awesome.
Very, very sad about that. But yes, I love that.
Didn't he do some
Batman
other
series.
voices too? He did some other voices too, didn't
He
he?
did the Batman and the Arkham series on video
Yeah.
games. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
killed it.
Man, those
I
are
know
some
him as
good
Batman.
games
I don't
too.
know him as anybody else, but he's a definitive Batman.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I think you're right. Nick.
Yeah.
About
There we go.
animated
Thank
series
you.
on HBO.
Thank you for that.
Also, you're right
Yes.
about that. I learned this yesterday. Nick's buddy Maury is in the Killing Joke.
Oh yeah, wow.
He's one of the voices in that show. Like,
Huh.
yeah, this is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, Nick's plugged in Hollywood.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, he's got friends everywhere. You'd be surprised.
I've actually seen the Killing Joke. That was really
Yes, that
Very,
was
very good.
fantastic. Very, very dark.
good. Oh
Yeah,
very
yes.
gritty.
I've heard that's messed up. I've never seen that.
Yes.
I grew up on the graphic novel. You know, that's
Yeah,
I love the graphic novel, but I've never seen the.
you should
The show.
definitely watch that.
Some of the
I
animated
know about
stuff
it.
has got some great, but it's a lot, definitely not for children, I would say. And some
Well,
of the,
the,
because
the
it really
original
does.
graphic novel was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For its
It's,
No, the
time.
Killing Joke is very. I wouldn't let my son watch it.
No,
yeah.
He's 8.
It-
I wouldn't let him watch it.
no.
It's right up my alley, but it's a little bit it's a little bit edgy for for a kid to watch. But
Yeah.
but yeah. This made me laugh. This comment made me laugh. Did you see this one?
Letterman's
Let
my
'em-
hero.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nobody talks about him anymore as much as they did. But
Oh,
back in the day, he
yeah.
was huge.
Well,
No, I
there was
follow a
something
guy
that,
on Instagram named Matt Friend that does celebrity impressions, and he did one of Letterman with Letterman
yeah.
one time. It was pretty funny. And then he did his Howard Stern impression interviewing Letterman. It was funny. It was pretty funny.
I bet that's funny.
Yeah,
Mm.
I miss Letterman. He was legendary. Letterman was he was so good. Oh man.
Yeah,
They don't
they,
make 'em like
they
they
don't
used
make
to in
shows like
terms
that
of that.
anymore. I mean, for good reason. We're all streaming now, and
Yeah.
we don't watch the same things. But that was back in the day when everybody watched the same thing, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any streaming services. There wasn't.
Mm.
You couldn't go binge watch stuff. I mean, you just had to watch what was on TV. There was no DVR, nothing like that. You just put a
yeah.
VCR, Nick. You know what I'm talking
mean-
about. You put a VCR tape in the a VHS tape in the VCR, hit record.
I mean,
You
come
have to
on now.
rewind it, watch it.
We're not that old, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
this
I
is
was gonna
only
say,
like,
Y'all don't know.
this is
Y'all don't know
this is
Jack
only
Shack
like-
about Betamax.
no, don't.
Nick,
Hey,
where you at,
That's
Nick? You know what I'm
right.
talking about.
hey, when we came around, Blockbuster was still a thing in movie gallery. So I'll say that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember.
You
See?
was
Thank
somewhat
you.
in the days, but the day of DVDs when you rolled into Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Yes, OGs, man. We rolled in there and they had VHS tapes. I think Nick at one point told me one time that he had a box of Betamax tapes at his house that his dad got from somewhere. But y'all don't know jack about no Betamax.
No.
Nick said I had Betamax for sure.
Yeah. Y'all don't know nothing about no Betamax,
Oh,
baby. And then the VHS sort of killed the Betamax.
Killed it quickly.
They were competing for a minute, and then the VHS wound up just running it out. So
Right.
Old VHS. Hey, I had plenty of VHS tapes back in the day growing up.
yeah, I got some right there on my
I've
shelf.
still got a few. Yeah, I've still got a few. I've got the Star Wars movies on VHS.
Oh,
that have been
now
unopened,
Nick, you are best friends with Scoop.
but I can't watch them because I need to get me a VCR and watch them.
Go to a pawn shop and buy VCR now,
I need to
Amazon.
get one.
dude. Those are before the Lucas edits, man. Those are.
I've got 2 sets of them.
Oh, you son of a.
Two different sets.
I've got 2
different,
sets.
yeah.
I mean, if you've got original trilogy on VHS, chances are that is before the Lucas edits, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's before they put no when he threw the Emperor down the shaft in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. And hand
Back when it
always
was
shot.
cool when he just did it without making any noise.
Hand shot first, man.
Oh man, dude, you gotta go to a pawn shop and find a VCR,
Yeah, I do.
or go on Amazon and order a fancy
Yeah, I
one.
could probably order one new. Because
Be like
I think
20
a lot of
bucks.
people watching VHS tapes more than they used to
Oh yeah, nostalgia.
because they're getting
Nostalgia.
back into physical media. And,
Y'all ain't never watched those on
VHS is
VHS, have you? Murph, Fonzie, you don't even know what that is, do you?
VHS.
No, I used to watch it all the time growing up. We didn't have a DVD player until I was probably in 2nd grade. So I was a little behind the times.
DVD
From
last
a more
lasted-
traditional household, but
No,
We were-
hey, VHS for a long time.
Jeff, we were real fancy when we were traveling in my mom's car. She had the portable VHS thing.
Oh wow,
The thing was about the size of a backpack, but the screen itself was only like that big.
Oh yes. Where
this right here.
Yeah. It's just-
But the thing is like this big. It takes
Yeah,
up
it's
like
a
2
big
seats.
whatever you put the VHS in.
It's like the cigarette lighter phone.
Yeah. You plug your PS2 up to it. It was great.
Scoop, do you got this one? Do you have the ones that say CBS Fox on them?
I'm not sure. I've got the.
Go get them right now. We're doing this live on the air. Go get
I've
them
got-
right now.
Okay, I'll go get them.
While Nick's watching. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
What will be determined, people? Will it be the pre-Lucas edits?
Pre-Lucas edits. I'm going pre-Lucas edits. He's got 2 sets, he said. One of them, at
That
least
could
one
be
of them's
worth.
got to
Hey,
be
that could be
pre-Lucas
worth
edits.
some money. One day it'd be worth some money.
Pre-horrible CGI, whatever crap he threw in there.
Before they added Jabba the Hutt in
Yeah.
there, and there's so much other stuff.
I mean,
I
they
actually
weren't all
saw
bad,
one.
but
I
some of
actually
them
saw
were
one of them.
very bad, but they weren't all bad, but some of them were forgettable.
Trust me, people. Trust me. You had a much higher chance of being able to see it on TV 10 years ago than you do now of seeing any of those versions of that movie. So
No, they'll never have the original versions released.
Yeah,
Unless
is it true that
Disney, now that Disney owns the masters, though, Disney could do whatever they wanted. So I don't know that they'll ever re-release the pre-Lucas edit versions.
is that why it's like not in the National Library? Because like George refused to give them the original copy of Star Wars. He wanted to keep giving like his CGI like edits, and they're like, no, we just want it has to be the original. So it's
Yes, Nick, but this is good though because we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Oh yeah, Nick's my high life buddy too. Just FYI, Nick, sipping a little high life.
Weak. Got to go with Coors Banquet.
Coors Banquet.
that's a fair
Good, bro.
statement.
Mhm.
I've never had Coors Banquet. Normally,
Really
Coors is not my first choice. So
See,
probably
that's like
wouldn't have been-
I'm a Coors guy, but
okay,
I like
I've
Miller
never been
too.
a big Coors
but
fan.
yeah, I stand by Coors.
I bet Eric's up in his attic, like throwing
Yeah.
stuff out of boxes, like digging through, throwing clothes out of stuff, making a giant mess. His wife's like, "What are you doing, Eric? Hey, shut up!
I gotta find it.
I gotta validate this."
CBS.
He's like, move. There he is. All right,
Yeah, I do have Fox Video.
hold up. We're gonna get this on the big side here. Damn, where's my thing?
Hi.
All right, here we go. All right, Fox
Says-
Video.
Yeah, Fox Video.
What is it? Is there a release year on the back anywhere? Like on the back bottoms?
Check.
Oh, that's beautiful.
My old eyes here. It's not jumping out at me. Let me look right quick. Let's see.
Tiny, tiny letters.
No, I'm so old.
Tiny
I have to take my
letters.
glasses off. Let's see. 1995.
95, baby.
So this would have been right before.
95. That's right. But
What about your other set?
And I've got this set, which also
Oh.
it says
Okay, now that's post Lucas edits there.
it says 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, but let me see the case again.
It's got Yoda on one side.
Yeah, I think those are the Lucas edits. I believe those are the Lucas edits. I think
Maybe.
your other ones were not. Guess
Yeah.
what Jeff's going to be asking to borrow? Oh.
Special edition on the second set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got one of each. That's glorious.
Yeah. Yeah, this one
Watch party.
This one goes up to 2000. So this one would be the
Yeah. That one has the post. So you got
Yeah.
pre and oh, that's
pre and
freaking
post.
amazing. Been sitting
Yeah.
on this whole time and working together. Never met. You should lead every conversation with that.
I got the tapes, man. I got the tapes.
You'd be like, I got them.
You just made Jeff's whole week.
Dude, Eileen probably has like 6 VCRs around her house. I might ask her tomorrow if she can bring
might as
one.
well.
I know she
as
got
well.
some. Hold up, Nick.
Yeah.
You have the pre-edits on a USB drive? Ah!
Whoa.
How'd you pull that off?
He knows the guy.
He's got Maury. He's got a guy in LA.
Maury.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I'm glad to learn that because now when I find a VCR, I can be like, "Yo, let me get them tapes, bro." Because it'll have like letterbox on the side and won't be in surround
Yeah.
sound. It'll be in standard definition. Have to adjust the
But I
tracking.
mean, it'll look better. It'll look better
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
I think we had some good lists, good shows tonight. Several repeat offenders in several lists. We had some of the same tastes. So Scott said enough of this.
He gone.
Peace out, Nick. Thanks for coming in the chat. Never get sidetracked on this show.
Yeah, I just noticed Fonz just left like that. And he's gone.
He has technical issues sometimes. Or sometimes he just leaves before it's like right in the middle of saying bye.
Should have been like, well, bye.
Well, bye.
Oh, Fonzarelli. Well, that's
Eric
cool.
knows-
Congrats to
Eric
Fonzie
knows
for
where
getting
that's
married.
from.
A good a buddy of mine.
Tombstone.
Congrats
he's
to
back.
a buddy of mine, Scott.
He's back. And he's
His,
back.
His wife Katie. They got married this past weekend. So, cheers
Cool.
to Scotty and Katie for their wedding this weekend.
And
Fonzarelli in the mix now. That's cool.
Yeah, long time coming.
Long time coming. Yeah, so
Exciting
that's
stuff.
that's a good list. Good list of shows. I enjoyed that. We got NBA playoff. The first round of the play-in games is tonight. What's the Brave score, Parker?
I don't
Braves
have
took
it.
the lead. Should be 5-4 right now. Guess
Cool.
the Reds.
Yankees were up 10-2 when I turned it off to come do this. So I'm hoping they maintained that advantage.
Yeah, I think you're probably good.
When we get out of here, if it's 11-10 Cleveland, I'm gonna be like really ticked.
Here, I'll let you know right now. It's still 10-2.
Be
Bottom
remiss
eight.
if I didn't mention my condolences to Fonzie on losing O'Neal Cruz until the end of the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a height thing, but he sure didn't know how to slide, and he needs to spend the whole offseason with Trey Turner learning how to slide, and
Yeah,
he'll be avoid stuff like that.
Don't want to talk about it too much, but they are tied right now going into the bottom of the ninth.
Really
so.
have been called a slide? I'm not sure it was a slide.
What I think happened is
More
he
of a
was gonna
trill.
run over the catcher, and he decided to slide last minute because he had
Yeah.
a lane to the plate and he just didn't take it. And
Yeah,
then he snapped his ankle and got caught a bitch.
'Cause
while he's on the
I
ground.
think he snapped it under himself. Like I don't think he hit it on. I think he awkwardly half slid whatever, and his foot caught under him, and that's what it looked like.
Yeah, I don't,
It wasn't the most
Whatever it
graceful
was.
slide.
sucks to lose him because
Yeah.
it's about half our power output. So
Well, he was like a good young player too. I mean, he was somebody you can market, somebody you could that people would come to the ballpark to watch play. And Pittsburgh's always had good players. They just never last to their contract renewal.
we develop them too. I mean, most of the guys that
Telling
are
you.
good come through our system.
The
So
Pirates have flooded MLB with a wealth of good players, of good development players.
on the flip side of that, though, a lot of these guys that do end up being very good don't pan out in Pittsburgh. Like I will
Yeah.
say, we do keep our good players around a while. But Tyler
Yeah.
Glass now had like a 7 ERA with us,
Yeah.
and then we just got rid of him for Chris Archer and sent 2 of our top 5 prospects with him. So
And then a year later, they got rid of Archer back to Tampa. They gave Archer back to Tampa the next year.
yeah, we had him for 2 years, I think, but he just ended up back in Tampa anyway. So
Say he was awful.
Yeah.
Oh, hey Jax.
it was rough.
Hey buddy.
Well, all right, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Well, good show, fellas.
Get up.
I enjoyed that. Eric, thanks for coming on the show, man. Like I appreciate you jumping in and sharing your list. We're
Thanks
gonna
for
have
having me. Enjoy
yeah,
it.
anytime, dude. We love having people on. So the next time we do this, we jump out of the sports lane. We'll do sitcoms. Whenever that show is, we're gonna take next week off, and then reconvene on the 27th of April for the draft show. That will be the live coverage of the first round of the draft. It'll be about 3.5 hours. So whoever wants to come and go, stay as long as you want. I think me and Fonzie are planning on riding out the whole first round.
I'll be there. If you like my
sipping
take,
whiskey
be there.
and eating and just hanging out like we did last year, like when I started last year. So that will be our next show on the 27th of April. That's Thursday night, the 27th at 7 for the first round of the NFL draft. We'll be simulcasting and live reactions to each pick. Call in, chime in when your team picks, or just come hang out whenever. I'll post a link to join in. So anyway, it's good seeing you guys. Eric, thanks again for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Fellas, we'll see you guys on draft night. Parker, Eric, see you in the morning.